Ja, vielen Dank. Zunächst einmal, liebe Angela, was für eine Präsidentschaft. Wir stehen hier heute etwas erschöpft nach der durchverhandelten Nacht, aber ich glaube mit Fug und Recht heute doch durchaus zufrieden. Wir haben den 7-Jahres-Haushalt, wir haben Next Generation EU, wir haben das Klimaziel für 2030. Da kann man eigentlich nur sagen, was für ein Triple. Das ist beeindruckend und es ist ein guter Tag heute für Europa. Let me start by saying that I'm very grateful to the German presidency and to Angela Merkel for the efforts undertaken since this summer, from the Commission's proposal on the budget and the Next Generation EU to the agreement in July in Council and the finalization in the next days. This has underlined, indeed, Europe's ability to come together and the capacity to act in the face of the worst crisis the EU has ever faced. It would not have been possible without the steady leadership of the Chancellor, the rotating presidency, and we are very grateful for that. The agreement will help us provide a strong economic response to the crisis while preserving the rule of law. Citizens and the EU economy need our support more than ever, and they need it now. So we need to finalize the adoption of the package with the help of the European Parliament as soon as possible. And member states also have to ensure a swift ratification. This is essential for us to power our economy as soon as possible. Of course, the launch of Next Generation EU is also a key component of our climate ambition. Now that we have secured the funding, we have the means for our actions. And that is why I'm delighted that, together with the German presidency, we were able today to reach an agreement on the proposal for a new EU climate target. We will reduce emissions by at least 55% by 2030. And today's agreement puts us on a clear path towards climate neutrality in 2050. It gives certainty to investors, to businesses, to public authorities, and to citizens. It future-proofs our union. All EU countries should benefit from the transition with economic growth, a cleaner environment, and healthier citizens. The European Green Deal will be our growth strategy. On the coronavirus pandemic, right now, the European Union is working full speed to review the safety of vaccines and make them available. We aim to authorize the BioNTech-Pfizer vaccine by the end of the year, subject to EMA's opinion. EMA's opinion on the Moderna vaccine should come before mid-January, and a rolling review of data for AstraZeneca, Oxford and Johnson & Johnson vaccines is ongoing. But it's vaccination and not vaccines that saves lives. I called on all the member states to finalize their preparations for the start of vaccination. We stand ready to support. We also care for our neighborhood. The European Union will coordinate the donation of vaccines by member states, in particular to protect the healthcare workers in the Western Balkans and in our neighborhood. And finally, we should indeed start working now on avoiding future crises. I asked leaders for their support to advance rapidly on getting the European Health Union off the ground, and thank you very much, Angela, for your words concerning that. Finally, I briefed the leaders on the negotiations with the United Kingdom. Positions remain apart on fundamental issues. On the level playing field, we have repeatedly made clear to our UK partners that the principle of fair competition is a precondition to privileged access to the EU market. It is the largest single market in the world, and it is only fair that competitors to our own enterprises face the same conditions on our own market. But this is not to say that we would require the UK to follow us every time we decide to raise our level of ambition, for example, in the environmental field. They would remain free, sovereign, if you wish, to decide what they want to do. We would simply adapt the conditions for access to our market accordingly the decision of the United Kingdom, and this would apply vice versa. On fisheries, here also we continue to have a gap. We have not yet found the solutions to bridge our differences. We understand that the UK aspires to control its waters. The UK must, on the other hand, understand the legitimate expectations of EU fishing fleets built on decades and sometimes centuries of access. On these and other points, our negotiators are working. We will decide on Sunday whether we have the conditions for an agreement or not. In the meantime, the Commission has proposed 4 targeted contingency measures today. They provide a short-term fix to ensure basic connectivity in air and road transport for 6 months. And we are also proposing to the UK to ensure reciprocal access to each other's waters for next year. One way or the other, in less than 3 weeks, it will be new beginnings for old friends. Thank you.